Hey y'all. So I know I told you guys that I would be doing a little breakdown of the movie Sinners. So we're gonna get straight into it. So I've seen the movie twice, and I'm gonna just cut out all the fluff and we're gonna get straight to it. Shall we? So in the movie Sinners, there is a duality. Duality stood out to me the most in the beginning. You have two twins, one Stack, one Smoke. Now, Stack is more considered the villain in the story. Smoke is more considered the more logical one in the story. We also have the we also have the character Preacher Boy. And Preacher Boy, he was the gifted one. He had a love for the blues, which obviously his father wasn't too fond of. He didn't like because we knew that his father was a pastor and he was like really deep into church, and you know how those beliefs can get and how they can go. I guess that's why a lot of people from the Christian faith, and I'm not bashing any faith because I did grow up in the Christian community, but I guess that's why a lot of those people did not want to see the movie for themselves. So, you know, when we talk about music, music is so powerful. Music has a vibrational force, a vibrational frequency to it. All right. And what did his father say? His father said, if you keep on dancing with the devil, then he said something like one day, or he might just follow you home. He said something along those lines. Okay. So we talk about how music is so powerful. It has the ability to create, it has the ability to destroy. And his music was so powerful that he could join past lives together. He could merge forces of the past and the present together. And then this goes into the culture vultures. It reminds me of today. It shows how the industry today, is basically, it operates off of wanting to suck you dry of your ability, of your creativity, of your gifts. All right. Preacher Boy music, it was so powerful that the woman that he was attracted to, that woman, she was also married. But Preacher Boy was so attracted and just adorned with this woman. And this woman, although in the beginning she act like, oh, my husband this, my husband that, baby, that music was so powerful that she let Preacher Boy eat that chocha. Okay. And this just shows how powerful the music and the frequency can be and the things that it can do. Look today, look at how many celebrities and how many artists, they have groupies, right? And they're willing to do anything just to be around them, just to, just to be seen by them, okay? Just to be noticed, baby, just to get flued out. People are laying on their backs. We're not going to go into that. That's another story. But anyway, the juke joint was sold to the twins by the Triple K's. Okay, that juke joint prior was a slaughterhouse. And that negativity and that energy, baby, it still remained. Now, I want to go back to the church. The church, if you realize the church, it was a white church, and the church was on the top, it was a square. On the top, it was a triangle. On the bottom, it was a square. Squares, they trap energy. Triangles, which was on the top, they allow energy to flow. The congregation was in the square, so that energy was trapped. One thing I realized is how many people in churchgoers and just sometimes in religion, they will use others' misfortunes or pains or miscomings in order to judge, in order to bash them. In this case, his father wanted to basically use, because if you notice that the beginning of the movie was the end, and the end of the movie was the beginning. when that snake, you seen that the snake was kind of in like a 8 form, which is like the circle of life. All right. But I've noticed that his father was trying to basically use what he was going through, his shortcomings, to basically try to make it a sermon. Okay. And I also noticed that a lot within the church community, you know, it's just a common thing that I actually just noticed. All right. So that was something interesting that I realized about that church and basically the setup. So I want to also talk about Smoke's baby mom, Annie. So Annie, she was a hoodoo healer. And I really love this part because she's the one that basically showed the difference of spiritual medicine and tapping back into ancestral knowledge and wisdom. Although many ways was, opposed, many people was opposed by this. Many people was opposed by doing what she said and doing the crafts and, she was trying to save them. She knew that these vampires had to be killed a certain way. She knew that they also had to be basically punctured in the heart in order for them to basically go away. All right. And she also knew that for herself in order to save herself. So she knew what to do in the time of warfare. And so many people they're opposed to the ancestral healing, spiritual healing. But guess what? When that warfare comes, they don't know what to do. They do not know what to do in a time of warfare. She knew what to do. She knew what to do so much that she was able to go on to the afterlife. If you notice, she told Smoke, she said, listen, I have somebody waiting for me in the afterlife. That was because she was already pregnant. And she wanted to, be with her daughter in the afterlife. And that was that vision that you seen as Smoke was kind of like dying in the end of his daughter and his, the mother of his child peacefully in the afterlife. All right. She moved on. She was able to move on. Now I want to talk about the culture vulture, which is that vampire. See, that vampire he heard Preacher Boy from miles away. And he tried to come in, to the juke joint or whatever. And he heard his voice. And he knew that with his gift, he could basically merge passed on loved ones with whatever agenda, that he had. He had a very evil agenda that he wanted to join on, and he wanted to merge passed on loved ones with him and his own personal hell. So that was actually very interesting to me too. And the vampires, as these different individuals, they were turning into vampires and they were getting bit. They was turning, if you notice the juke joint, they were not able to come into the juke joint unless you invite them in, unless you allow them in. This showed to me how many times we allow unnecessary evil into our lives. We invite unnecessary evil into our lives, unknowingly sometimes, but also knowingly. And then I want to go back to Preacher Boy and like the end. Preacher Boy, he still remained a musician at the end. And what I took from that is, no one, not even your family, because what I didn't really like in the movie is how his father tried to take that gift away from him. He knew that he liked that, and he also had to hide it from his father, his love from it. And his father also tried to take that gift from him. Not only did he try to take that gift from him, he tried to exploit him in the church, okay, and tried to use that pain as a sermon. And that's what I didn't like. So no one, not even your family member, they can't take your gifts away, you know, which, you know, that was his love. His love was for the blues. And sometimes what it is, you know, I really just believe that Preacher Boy, he just really needed to have more discernment in how he was using his gifts, how he shared his gifts, and what he was going to use his gifts for. That was like really the main thing that I took away from that. You also had some other characters in the story, like Annie. She was a white woman, but you know, she was really feeling Stack or whatever. You know, Stack was the one that she came in and bit, you know. But it just also can show also how certain relationships in our life can cause more detriment. Like we think that they are great for us, and they can also cause more detriment as we also invite those type of relationships in. So that's my quick breakdown on Sinners. I'm glad I finally was able to give it to you guys. And guys, if y'all want me to break down more movies, let me know. Drop the movie below. And I just want to say, keep them vampires out of your life. Bye.